What's up, football fans? It's your favorite NFL scout, and Super Bowl 56 is in the books. But for NFL scouts and evaluators, there are a lot of lessons that can be learned from watching the two teams that participated in the Super Bowl. Not how the game played out, but how each of those teams were constructed and what things that other teams can utilize to maybe make their team a championship contender. Number one, it is all about the quarterback. When you think about being a championship caliber team in this league, you have to have a quarterback that can deal with the likes of Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, even a Dak Prescott. And the only way that you can do that is you have to have an A-plus quarterback in the fold. There are two ways to get those quarterbacks. One, you can draft and develop that quarterback like Joe Burrow. Number one overall pick, comes out of the draft, expected to be a franchise quarterback, plays like a franchise quarterback. The Cincinnati Bengals find themselves in the Super Bowl. Or you can do like the LA Rams, because the LA Rams had taken that route. They drafted Jared Goff number one overall. He got them to a Super Bowl, but he couldn't get them over the hump. So what did the Rams do? They made a blockbuster trade to get Matthew Stafford, a more talented quarterback, a quarterback with A-plus arm ability, and his athleticism and his comeback skills gives them an added dimension. So what they decided to do was, we're going to upgrade our quarterback by mortgaging the future to make sure that we have one of those quarterbacks that can compete with the elite. The second lesson that teams can learn from the teams that participated in the Super Bowl, it is all about star power. When you think about the LA Rams and how the LA Rams were able to kind of build a championship team, it was all about accumulating enough stars to be the best team on the field. When I think about it, look, this is a team that had plenty of stars that were already homegrown. Cooper Kupp was the Offensive Player of the Year. Aaron Donald's been a three-time Defensive Player of the Year. But over the last couple years, this team has been willing to trade off picks for proven players. Let's think about Jalen Ramsey giving up picks to bring him over. Let's think about this year. Von Miller traded for in the middle of the season. They pick up Odell Beckham Jr. to bring him over to add to the offense. Earlier in training camp, they trade for Sony Michel. They sign Eric Weddle and bring him out of retirement and have the two-time All-Pro join the team in the postseason. And the reason why? It's because they wanted star power. They understand that stars win games, particularly down in the postseason, and that was the difference in the Rams hoisting the trophy this year. At 3, trust the process. It is a long, slow, winding road to building a champion. But the Cincinnati Bengals were rewarded for their patience with their head coach, Zac Taylor. You know Zac Taylor, the one who really struggled at the beginning of his coaching career, only won 6 games over the first 2 years, but they stuck with him. They stuck with him because Joe Burrow was playing well under Zac Taylor his first year until he was injured. Joe Burrow believed in Zac Taylor. So Mike Brown in the front office gave Zac Taylor an opportunity to fully bake out his plan. They added some personnel and weapons around Joe Burrow, and the head coach took off. You think about a team that won the AFC North title, they win the AFC Championship. It is all because they trusted the process and allowed their coach, Zac Taylor, to mature as a coach while he fully implemented the plan, and it worked out. Trust the process. It certainly matters, and it helps. At 4, don't be afraid to spend money on free agents to fix your team's biggest problem. When we look at the Cincinnati Bengals, a couple years ago, they were struggling mightily on defense. How did they fix the problem? They committed to bringing free agents over to the team, and it certainly helped this defense play at a championship level. A couple years ago, they added Von Bell and Trey Waynes. This offseason, they added Trey Hendrickson, DJ Reader, Larry Unganobi, Chidobe Awuzie, and Eli Apple. And so when you think about those veterans being on that defense, it enabled them to play smarter, they played faster, they had fewer mistakes. As a result, they played better. That is a great example of tap into free agency to fix your biggest problems, because in free agency, you're getting players that are proven. You already know what they can do. You might have to pay a premium, but you get a ready-made product right now. The final thing that I learned from watching these two teams in the Super Bowl: invest in a kicker. The Cincinnati Bengals were laughed at when they took Evan Money Mac McPherson in the 5th round of the draft. But Money Mac delivered whenever it counted for the Cincinnati Bengals. 14 of 14 field goal attempts he made in the postseason. That's the most by any kicker in NFL history. He was clutch. He had 3 game winners during the postseason. And so as we think about the Cincinnati Bengals being able to advance, one of the reasons was because they had a money kicker that can make kicks in any situation. A lot of times when we talk about kickers, we laugh at the possibilities when we talk about, oh, they can be drafted. Nah, the Cincinnati Bengals understood the value of the kicker. The kicker is typically the leading scorer. Because they were able to make a hefty investment in the kicker, their kicker gave them big-time performance in return, and it's one of the reasons why they're in the Super Bowl. So there you have it. There are my 5 lessons that I learned from looking at the two teams in the Super Bowl. Look, it is tough trying to figure out the best way to build your team, but the Rams and the Bengals figured it out. Hopefully, as we go forward, other teams will use the blueprint from these two teams to help their teams play at a championship level. Be sure to come back for more NFL content. The draft is coming up. I'm going to have a lot to say. Make sure you click in and see what I have to say in the future.